Walking through your worst case scenario can eliminate fear. We had a major radio company come to us many years ago, and we had 6 major cities that we were on the air with them. And that's millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. Not that they pay us or we pay them. The way radio works in mainstream radio is when you go into a commercial break, the local station has 70% of the spots, we've got 30% of the spots. So if there's 4 spots in that break, they would have 3 local spots that they sell to make money. I have 1 national spot that I sell to make money over the whole network. I make my money there, they make their money on the locals. They don't pay me anything, I don't pay them anything. And that's the way Hannity or Ramsey or whoever, whichever talk radio host you want to pick out, does it in mainstream radio. Christian radio, you buy the time. But in mainstream radio, we barter it, we split the revenues up, and they have 0 payroll cost, and I've got 0 expense. Well, this company comes to us and says, well, you guys are making so much money as a result of being on our radio stations that you are now going to pay us $6 million a year. I said, I really don't think that's fair. You don't charge any of the other shows on you. Yeah, but they don't monetize like you do. And I said, so because I'm actually a good business person instead of a radio guy, you're thinking you're going to milk me. Well, it just seems like right. It seems right that you should share that revenue. And I said, no, it doesn't seem right to me. So we had a unfriendly discussion, and I said, well, I guess we'll just have to get back to you. You want to give us a little time to kind of process this? And yeah, but this is the way it's going to be. You're going to pay us. Well, probably not, but we'll talk about it. Okay. So I was pretty pissed off. I'm about to lose 6 big cities, or I'm about to write some checks that I really shouldn't have to write. This is pretty much extortion. I was pretty angry. And I was angry partly because I was afraid I didn't want to lose all those cities and all that revenue and all that impact and all those people's lives that we could touch. And it just... And so I just said, well, all right, what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is we say no thank you, and they take us off the air. And we don't have those 6 cities anymore, and we just go on with our lives, and we figure out a way to do it. That's our worst case. And we sat on that a little bit and kind of got used to it. Life without them. And, it took about 3 or 4 days, and after 3 or 4 days emotionally, I was already working without them. It eliminated the fear. Once I said, what's the worst case scenario is, I lose the markets completely and never go back on again in my life, which is not true. That's over. That's melodrama. And so once I decided that, then I took the next 3 weeks and went to other radio groups in those 6 cities and found a new home in 4 of the cities. And then I went back to the guy and I said, well, we're going to have to pass on your generous offer. And he said, we're going to take you off the air. And I said, I know, you told me that. And he goes, you're kidding. You're just going to walk away. And I said, well, you really thought that Dave Ramsey, what part of knowing me did you think this was going to work? And he goes, I just can't believe you're just going to give this up. And I said, no, I'm not giving it up. I'm actually going on your competitor. I'm going to kick your ass. 8 years later, we spoke again at a radio convention. We're friends again now. He's a good guy, but he made a mistake on that one. So you walk through your worst case scenario, and it eliminates fear. People call me up, they're like, I'm losing my house. What do I do? The foreclosure is going to happen. I'm like, when? I just lost my job today. Are you current on your payments? Yeah, well, you're not going to lose your house. I'm going to be foreclosed on. No, you're not. You just lost your job today? Go get another job. You're not even late on if you don't pay a payment for 9 months, maybe you can call me and we'll talk about you being foreclosed on. That's probably about how long it's going to take before they get around to it. That's the normal with an FHA or a conventional loan. So you're not going to get foreclosed on. But let's just pretend for a second that it was Friday and you were going to get foreclosed on Friday. What would you do if you were going to lose your house Friday? Calm down. What would you do if you were going to lose your house Friday? I guess I would just go find some place to rent that would rent to somebody that had been foreclosed on. I went, yeah, that's what you'd do. There's another house, and you'd start again, and you'd build your credit back up and pay your landlord on time, and then you'd go buy you another house, right? You know? So it's going to be okay. So you're not going to get foreclosed on, but if you do, it's still going to be okay. And the fear just goes, just drops. Once you work through emotionally the worst case scenario, and you go, the worst case scenario is this client that we really like is a huge client, we're going to lose them. And we're going to lose all that revenue. Once you align yourself to that emotionally, you set yourself in a completely different decision-making paradigm. Because here's what happens. When you're in fight or flight, like Deloney was talking about with his bricks talk, your brain gets coated with chemicals and your critical thinking skills disappear. Fear is not your friend for critical thinking skills. You have got to slow down and step back from fear in order for your creative thoughts to kick in and your ways to solve, your problem-solving skills to show up again. And so you've got to push that stuff back in order to make good, clean decisions.